I'm Rick Marshall. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, and ranch in the Sandhills of Nebraska. Well, I got interested in the Pharo Cattle Company about when I bought the ranch 8 years ago. I had a neighbor by the name of Lemoyne Daly that had been a Pharo customer. He actually introduced him to me, and very first cattle we bought, it just made sense. They were the right size, small, efficient, and hit it off with Kit. And as a matter of fact, bought cattle sight unseen on a trip to Argentina. So our very first bulls Kit bought for me, and we came back and just loved them. Things worked out great. Yeah, low input's very important to us, and comparing Pharo bulls to other bulls, they were just head and shoulders different. We've got to be low input. It just, for me, being a businessman, it seemed to me the easiest way to make a profit was to control the expense, much more than being able to dictate the selling price. Yeah. So having low input, highly efficient, easy flushing cattle just made sense, and Pharo cattle were ideal for that. Well, what else I like about Pharo bulls are that have good longevity. They were able to cover a lot of cattle with them. We actually have two of the original bulls that we bought from 2007 still in our herd, including one by the name of KC Hobo. It's just a fabulous Red Angus bull that lots of other people are very interested in right now. We've seen extremely good durability with Pharo bulls. They are they're very sound, very good shape, and seem to have good longevity with us. And the offspring that they've produced do real well with us too. What I like about the cowboy auction is it always feels like it's the most fair system out there. You're not, I'm not an auctioneer, and I don't spend a lot of time in sale barns. So the guy that can talk 100 miles an hour and it sounds like he might be calling a baseball game is little interest to me. When I saw the opportunity just to hold the sign up, but I've bought most of mine sight unseen, so just give them a bid and follow along, and seems like the guy that's willing to pay the most always goes home with what he wants to buy. The question was what do I think of the sight unseen system? It was only scary the first time, just the thought of it, and I'd never met Kit, but I'd spent 2 or 3 conversations with him on the phone, and I was new to the cattle business, so I put a lot of trust in him. Lemoyne had met him and said Kit was a good guy, and everything that my little mental checklist of what would make an honest person, I was able to check those off, and we laid out on using the quick sort, laid out what we thought were the bulls to buy, and told Kit what I was willing to go maximum, and some of them I got bought, some of them I didn't. But it was just great. It was the type of experience that for me is head and shoulders than sitting in some sale barn, really not knowing, who's got the bid and who doesn't. The advice that I'd give others who maybe are not a Pharo customer and are considering it is that it only makes sense to me is you've got to have cattle that are smaller. It's the only fighting chance you have. Smaller cattle are more efficient. Kit clearly took the lead in that many, many years ago and went out and made the investment into buying smaller frame cattle. I'm sure he took a lot of grief from the neighbors, and he truly walks the walk of being a herd quitter. You picture 17 years ago when he was out there buying what everybody had to be calling miniature cattle or dwarfs or whatever that might be, and Kit said, no, this is really the way to go. You got to give him a lot of credit for blazing the trail in a direction that I certainly think makes a lot of sense.